Aloha and thank you for joining me for Java. This is Tuesday. It's June 25th, 2024. I've got a few things going on today that I would like to go over with you prior to the market open. So with this, let's look at what is going on at the moment. We've got our main risk indicator still staying around the same level, 277.3. Pulled back a bit yesterday after stocks basically took a drop. They had a little bit of correction yesterday, still in fear grade area, and it happened pretty rapidly. So one of the largest movers up front was Nvidia. So it's not a surprise after they've gone parabolic that they would basically take a bit of a breather. So going into this a little bit deeper, we've got, of course, the relative strength of the dollar and the 10-year yield. Now, both of those gained strength yesterday, the pressured stocks, and there were a couple of other things that went on as well. Not a lot of data came out yesterday, and we've got Fed President speaking. We'll go over that with the events that are coming up today. However, we had a drop in cryptocurrencies happen yesterday. They've recovered a bit today, and we'll be watching them right around that 61,000 level for Bitcoin. If it stays above it, then that was our buying opportunity. There is showing that possible could drop once again. If it gets below the 60,000 level, there's possibilities down in the 50,000 range that we could purchase. However, I will be buying. I did buy some at that dip just to see. So we've got a 4-week correction for Bitcoin. We had two large news statements come out regarding that. The first one was Mt. Gox. If you're not familiar with them, basically payments back when Bitcoin was relatively new. There was basically kind of the same thing that's going on, major manipulation. And then also a lot of people lost some money through an exchange that was corrupt, Mt. Gox to be particular. So that, along with Germany coming out saying that they were selling, the government was selling. Now, it's funny, they never admit when they're buying, but they always talk about when they're selling because they want people to shake it out. So with that, we're going to look at stocks at the moment are weak, but they're looking to gain a bit of strength going back into. I expect a bit of recovery today, even if it's only to level out. So we've got the volatility index is lower than yesterday. Gold still up a bit, and silver, crude under a little bit of pressure. And we've got basically the future saying that stocks can go green again as well. So sentiment as far as what it looks to be, the probabilities are that there is a bit of recovery, but that they're going to remain range bound. We've got a few other reports coming out. So this is what I consider personally is a good time to sell data. It's not financial advice, but something you might want to look at as far as a strategy if you trade options. So also looking into this for all of you that had pulled your profits on NVIDIA, good for you, congratulations. I think you're going to get another buying opportunity. So right now, calendar and earnings that we're looking for today, we're basically getting more Fed members coming out speaking. Consumer confidence should be one. And then later, we're getting crude oil stock that could affect the oil. So prior to market open tomorrow, we're getting building permits. My opinion, that's larger depending on what they see and what they expect. I expect it to be down because the market is just, it's beginning to take a hit. Will take a little bit to fall, but it's really getting weak. It is local, some areas worse than others. So as far as earnings, we've got FedEx watching that as well today. For shipping, that is a good indicator of the real economy to see whether things are actually moving. We've also got Micron and Levi's coming out, paychecks. We'll be watching that for jobs. So we've got Janet Yellen coming out saying inflation is coming down to the Fed's 2% target by 2025. She is famous for not telling the truth, stretching the truth, and also being just completely wrong on the numbers and then coming out and saying, oh, sorry about that, was just completely wrong. So I don't know why anybody would listen to her any longer. And we've got other things going on that show that 2% is complete fallacy. And I don't think that we'll see 2% target inflation in the US dollar ever again, personally, in my opinion. So we've got the US expecting to bolster Ukraine's defense with $150 million munitions. So as they continue to print, that increases inflation. So we can only hit that 2% target if you think the government is going to buckle down and stop spending. So I don't believe that's going to happen. So moving forward, I've got a couple of things I really want to speak about with the banks. The whole underlying issue with all of this going on. First off, Iran, I spoke about this yesterday. The central bank unveiled their first central bank digital currency. So even Iran going into this, they're calling it crypto real. This will be faster settlement payments. What does it also mean? It means control of what you're allowed to spend, how it is spent, and that is the point of central bank digital currencies. But on the underlying, what we've got going on is the rails, if you will, for a one world currency happening again. So the main link in all of this to central banks, we've got the Bank of International Settlements, or BIS. So we've got central banks must prepare for the profound impact of artificial intelligence. It's more than that, but that's what they're saying on the surface in the cover story from BIS. What they've got coming out is they're talking about ISO, basically what banks need to know, and this is the underlying payment system that they're moving to. So the global payment messaging standards, they're migrating through this. Not many people know about this. It's not in mainstream media. A lot of people kind of glaze over the eyes, but this is really critical to what is going on. All of these payment systems don't care if it's the EU1 or the crypto real or the CBDC, whatever United States central bank digital currency will be coming out, will all run on this. We've got this story down here, big banks rushing to test European central banks' wholesale distributed ledger technology. So that's going to integrate as well. We're going to have the e-euro. We've got the e-ruble, e-yuan. All of them will converge on this kind of back-end payment system. It'll all be basically turned into, all they have to do is switch, instead of being a crypto real, once they get this currency, change the name to a one coin. And there you go. Mother of all central bank digital currencies. We know where that ends. We're told in the Bible. So with this, and I know that's very controversial to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, my opinion, you can have your own. Few stories coming out. I'm left with nothing. Life inside the Synapse collapse. So this was another small to medium bank. What happened was when the bank imploded, basically, this is personal people's savings or what was left of them. So these get basically absorbed into the bank. They go into what they call receivership, and no one gets their money until they sort this. So if anyone still has, after listening to this channel, or if you're new here and you've still got your money in the savings in a bank, get it out as soon as possible. They can take basically freeze your funds and you won't see them for years, if ever again. So get your savings out, convert it to real assets. Okay, going to talk about, I go over that a lot. I cannot stress the importance. Large companies' bankruptcies now are riding rapidly to the second largest number in 14 years. What happened 14 years ago? Was right after the major banking crisis, 2008, that would put us right at 2010. Highest number of large corporate bankruptcies since then. So despite what they're saying, the economy is in wonderful shape, all of these larger corporations going out there firing their employees, we're going to have major amounts of unemployment rising. Okay, behind this, I just went over the central bank digital currency. We've got DARPA. So DARPA is the United States government military's think tank. Stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. They do everything from the basically the laser weapons that they've got out right now, microwave weapons, all of this advanced technology, a lot of it with the environment leading this research. And what are they working on now? They are working on trying to get a future quantum computing capability. Why are they trying to do this? Finance systems. Basically, they're trying to crack one of the few uh, abilities of free money in the digital world, Bitcoin, because Bitcoin would take a quantum computer to break. As soon as they do that, yeah, Bitcoin could probably go to zero. I know that there were agencies involved in the creation, but they were also left out, and this was an after fact. So just want to say they are working on this quantum finance solution. So I've got another story that I want to go over. OpenAI. Now they've just gone into a large database analytics deal, purchased 9 figures in money, an awful lot of money to purchase this analytics firm for the data for their artificial intelligence, just to tell you how important the data is. It's the most important commodity out there. They're just being very quiet about it. They don't want anybody to know. So I've got another story. This is off, but bear with me if you will. The United States ambassador visiting a conflict-ridden Mexican state to expedite avocado inspections. I spoke about this yesterday. This is not about vegetables or coming across the border. This is much larger. It's about cartels and the trade that is going on there. And I'm not talking about green vegetables. So it's a cover. But basically, what's going on is a lot of things on that border. And I just can tell you from the inside, basically, there's a lot of things going on between the Mexican state with the currency and also all of these people that are coming over through that area. That's another way of the control, and they're hiding it through trade, saying on the surface that it's trade. So, with this, I've got a couple of things that I would really like you to take a moment of your time and watch. The first one is called The Grab trailer, and I would like to thank my friend from the Truth Warrior, and I have meant to mention him because he's done some wonderful work lately. I'm going to leave a link in the description for him for this, and then also the movie Inside Job. Now that is free on YouTube now. I highly urge you to watch this. It's basically a documentary on what happened in 2008, the banksters, what happened behind that, and what happened with all of them after that. Many of these people that are in this film that happened with this in the first time, namely Larry Summers, a lot of the Fed Bank presidents, Treasury secretaries, are all called out in this. So if you don't understand what's about to happen, this will give you a good reflection of what it is. So with this, my friends, until I see you again, stay free.